Good day. So wonderful to see you all. Thank you so much for being here. This is May 9th. Amazing that we're now in May. What a relief to have the flock of students disappear into wherever they're going and have the streets of Bloomington back to ourselves so we can zoom around wherever we want to go. And what a beautiful day today is. What an incredibly beautiful day it is. And welcome to everybody online. I don't know how many people we have online, but they're a good number. Hi, there's Michael there waving his hand, as we've got Raj as well. So to start off with, I thought I would share a video. This is the motto of the Rotary International Service Above Self. And this year has been nothing less than spectacular in how we've served our community, served so many different people. Today will be a reflection of that as well. And I will actually have some data for you next week and beyond about how well we've done this year. It's just been an absolutely banner year. Rotary organization puts out these fabulous videos. I strongly suggest that you check out their website and go and have a look at some of the videos that they produce. But this is a video that the Rotary International has put out about service within the organization itself. Amazing. Is that amazing? I will share that with you so that in the quietness of your own homes, you can have a look at that video again. It's absolutely amazing. And I was really struck by the 3 sentences that really encapsulate everything. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I served and behold, service was joy. It's really amazing, really, really fantastic. With that, I'm going to invite Aaron Brewington to join me here at the podium for his reflection. Aaron is going to be our president in a year and a few weeks. Yeah.
So I'll start by trying to anger everyone here. So, welcome, Rotarians. So this reflection came out of a recent article from the Indiana Daily Student, the IDS, which has become the voice of public record among Bloomington residents. And I'm serious about that. The article I'm talking about is that the church's answer was hurting them. Former members of Bloomington's High Rock Church alleged spiritual abuse by one Marissa Meador. It was also fleshed out in conversation with my lunch buddy, Dekir, over cigars with an intensity that usually comes after about the 3rd beer. So that said, my intent here is not to offend anyone of faith. Trying to be very conscious of that. I just want to briefly point out the article which details an extreme example of church hypocrisy. So the gist here of the piece is that it's one of the best examples I've seen of local investigative journalism in quite some time. It details abuses at the leadership level at the High Rock Church, a group of churches it belongs to is also part of this scandal, and they're called the Network, which isn't weird or creepy at all. So the gist of the church system, it's made up of these multi-location centers that are basically franchises. And there's like a growth model that is like requires active recruiting and growth per church and 5% tithing and so forth. So the focus on franchising is sort of at the cost of spiritual counsel. It's to the point where they even turned away a longtime congregant who is suffering mental illness issues and end up killing himself. So, you know, I guess one of my questions is sort of, if you aren't caring for the least of these, what are you doing here? What's the point? And also another very bad thing is that the founder of the network, one Steve Morgan, is a convicted child rapist. Despite pleading guilty to aggravated criminal sodomy of a minor, which involved abusing his power as a youth pastor to forcibly rape a 15-year-old boy. Morgan served no jail time, nor did he have to register as a sex offender, which is, I guess, a mini miracle for him. Thus, he was free to bury his past, misrepresenting the crime, eventually going on to become a church leader with a tremendous amount of power. This from a guy who owns a multi-million-dollar ranch in Texas, along with luxuries associated with the 1%. Have you seen the maintenance fees on maintaining pearly gates? Just saying. I highly encourage everyone to read the piece. It's rage-inducing and disgusting. You'll love it. Such investigative journalism serves three primary functions. It holds power accountable, exposes wrongdoings, and furthers debate. Such investigative journalism is essential to society, and in my opinion, it should be a public service. It uncovers wrongdoing, and in doing so, opens the door for similar issues being uncovered. It also informs people about the issues and gives the victims a voice. It's what we really mean when we venerate the First Amendment. Since the Gannett buyout, as the Herald Times reporting has declined, the IDS, Indiana Daily Student, has risen to fill our community journalistic void. My only issue with the paper is that the journalists have no idea what they're getting into if they choose to go into journalism. Regardless, it has become the standard bearer among Bloomington's literati. That it comes from a journalism student writing a college newspaper gives me hope for the future of reporting. I have a restored faith for the news holding those in power accountable, which has been lacking for some time. This is why we really need local journalism, especially investigative journalism. I hope they keep up this exceptional work. This is the type of journalism that Bloomington deserves. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you so much. Good. Well, time to celebrate some birthdays this week. We have two birthdays to acknowledge. One is Jeff Baldwin, and the other one who's on May 7th, by the way, and then Emily Hannon is May 8th. We have member anniversaries. Bitter DeWitt has been with us for a year, which is fabulous. And Dave Meyer, is Dave Meyer here? No, he's not. He's in France. That's right. Well, I'm here to say that both Dave and I joined the Rotary Club on exactly the same day. And I was going to bring a picture, but I didn't have time to get it. But we've been here for 9 years. Isn't that great? So both Dave and I have been here for 9 years. Okay, great. Hank Walter, he's going to come up to the podium now and introduce our absolutely amazing guests, as well as all the others. Well, all the amazing guests.
All our guests are amazing today. And we have lots of them, more than 20. So I'm going to break it into groups a little bit. And when I ask people to stand, if we could hold our applause and do it kind of a group at a time, we have at least 7 groups. So starting with guests of, and I'll do it by kind of guests of, Guests of Lexi Walters, Chris Lawson, and Derek Dahlke. You would stand. Thank you. Guests of Jim Bright, Gerono Rodich, and Forrest Gilmore. Gerono's not here.
Yeah. Hello, I'm here.
Guests of Raj Hadawi, so online, I assume, Shelley Sal, Melissa Burgess, and Christy Trendelman. Oh, sorry. Oh, great. And Gerona's online.
Hey, good to see you, everybody.
Thanks. And Michael, are there any other online guests?
No, that's all. Thanks, Hank.
Okay. And then, as you know, we have our annual scholarship winners here today. So with scholarship winner Hazel Stringer and Sophie Stringer and Susan DeVries. If you would stand, please. With Grace McKay, Joel and Kim McKay, and Abby Gray. With Kira Unger Levison, Deborah Unger, Bradley Levison, and Dr. Angie Shelton. And with Clara Crane, Damon Crane, and Pam Waterford. Welcome, glad you all could join us.
Thank you. Thanks, Hank. And to Hank also, thank you so much for giving us all the updates about what's happening at the IMU. This is a big, do you want to just quickly talk about the incredible things that are happening at the IMU right now, just so that people know? Because there's quite a bit going on.
So, and you may have noticed that parking lot 1 is closed or open or closed or open. So it is open. It will be open most of the summer, but there's a construction project to completely redo it. That's the parking lot right in front of the hotel entrance. It will be done in phases, so it'll only be closed about 2 weeks later on this summer when they're working on the entrance. The restrooms right out here are closed. We are redoing and expanding those and adding a couple all gender restrooms there. But we can't do that in phases. So just know that those will be closed for the summer. And then the bookstore will also be renovated in phases this summer. So if you are in there by August, you will see it being updated and a couple new entrances, or one old that's being reopened and one new. And then lastly, I'm forgetting one project. There's one other. Oh, yes. How could I forget that? And one of my favorites. So you may have noticed as you come through here during the school year, there's about 20 to 30 hours a week when there is no public seating available. Every seat is taken. Lounges, we put lounge seating in the corridors. We've got all the dining area. And so we're actually going to blow out a wall in the dining area that separates what used to be the bookstore, or has been a bookstore storage area, from the exterior wall, and add about 75 more seats there. The bookstore renovation will add about 100 seats that students can use to study or hang out and all that too. So we just can't keep up with the demand for the space because students want to hang out here now. The nearest restrooms. So you can duck into the tutor room. Those are small restrooms. There are restrooms on this floor, also by or in the Starbucks area. The closest, though, are probably right downstairs, almost right beneath us, are a couple large men's and women's rooms right by Sugar and Spice.
Thank you, Hank, and thank you so much for everything that you've been doing in the IMU through the years that you've been here. You've been creating community, as I've noticed, and the fact that all those seats are taken is an indication of success. So huge congratulations to you and everything that you've done. Yeah. Good. We have a few club announcements. I want to just mention that over the next few weeks, we're going to be having a club assembly, in which we're going to be talking about committees next year. We're going to be giving you some updates, some ideas, some strategic planning for next year, and just generally familiarizing yourself of where we're going beyond the end of my term. And so that's on the 23rd of May. So that's coming up this month. Ron and I had a fabulous conversation yesterday in preparation for for what's lying ahead. And I'm very excited about any number of different projects that are going to continue and evolve and change and develop through his time at the podium. We have a celebration, our spring celebration will be in place of our Tuesday meeting on June 13th. And we'll be giving you information about this as well. We'll be going to Wonder Lab and having some fun playing games in amongst all of those installations there. That's a really fabulous place, as you all know. And I heard that the last time we went there and joined together, we had so much fun that we decided to do that again this spring. So we're going to be doing that on June 13th in the evening. Liz Feidel is going to come and talk about the book club and a few other things.
Hello. I just want to announce again, the book club, next book club is going to be Wednesday, July 19th. Thank you. At 7 p.m. at my house this time. So you all get to be invited to that. We're going to do the Buddy Dharma book, People from Bloomington. It's at the library. There are 4 copies. So I know I have mine and I'll be turning it in before that. So it says it's an eerie, alienating, yet comic and profoundly sympathetic short story collection from Americans in America by one of Indonesia's most prominent writers. Sounds intriguing. So I also want to say a couple of other things, if you'll give me the liberty to do that. I was at Chancellor Vaughn's retirement ceremony last Friday night, and the staff that do the Yellowwood restaurant there were all excited to talk about a hospitality showcase they're doing this Thursday evening from 5:30 to 7:30 at Ivy Tech. It's a fundraiser so that they can take their students to other locations and experience something unique that many of them have never been able to do with regard to culinary foods. So that's, you could go to yellowwoodrestaurant.com and make your reservation if you're interested. The other thing I want to mention is that I'm involved personally in a Planting Seeds Living Well with Parkinson's event coming up on Saturday, June 3rd, 9 to 1 at the Convention Center. It's open to the public. There'll be a resource fair as well as a presentation between 10 and 11:30. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Okay, so just before we move on to the program for today, I want to thank our greeter, Steve Wick. Steve has, as you probably know, has stepped up to chair our international committee, and there's some very exciting projects that we're talking to AMPATH about right now. So more of that will be happening soon. It's great to have a new member of the club step up to the plate like that. So thank you very much, Steve. Hank, once again, thank you so much for the introductions. Michael Shemus is online, making sure that things are running smoothly there. Aaron, thank you very much for your thoughts and words. Glenda Murray is going to be our reporter today in place of Bob Zeltsberg, and Tracy is going to help us with video and the microphone, and then Tyler, as always, thank you so much. It sounds great today. Sounds amazing. Sounds really fantastic. Well, let's get to the core of why we're here today. We're very excited. Drum roll, please. Please welcome Amy Osojima.
All right. So it was a privilege and an absolute delight to serve as the chair of the scholarship committee again this year. First, I want to thank the members of our committee whose generous contributions of time and care through this process made it possible for us to bring you these impressive scholarship recipients. Those members are Byron Bangert, if you want to either stand up or wave, Jeff Bradley, Jeff Richardson, Hank Walter, Charlotte Zitlow, and Peggy Frisbee. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, so we're going to try to make sure that the majority of our presentation today will be hearing from our actual scholarship winners, but I'll just take a moment to share the process in case you might be interested in joining us on the committee next year. We send a call out to teachers, counselors, and principals at the end of the year, and then follow up in January and February to make sure that the interested students get their applications submitted by March 31st. The submissions are reviewed by the entire committee, and a group of finalists is chosen for in-person interviews. Spending an afternoon with these inspiring young people is our reward for serving on this committee, and I'm so happy that you have a chance to hear from them today. So let's get to it. Our 2023 Bloomington Rotary Scholarship recipients are Kira Unger Levinson, Grace McKay, Hazel Stringer, and Clara Crane. And the first scholarship recipient we'll meet today is Kira Unger Levinson. In her essay, Kira spoke with passion and compassion about the people living with Parkinson's disease that she encountered during her internship at a neurology practice. She thinks about the global challenges of providing quality medical care. And I don't want to steal her thunder, so I'll finish by sharing that after graduation from Bloomington High School North, she will be attending Washington University in St. Louis with a combined major, because obviously an underachiever, combined major in philosophy, neuroscience, and psychology on a pre-med track. She plans to attend medical school after completing her undergraduate studies. So let's welcome Kira.
Hi, everyone. It's such an honor to be speaking before so many pillars of the Bloomington community here today. To be honest, it's also a little nerve-wracking. So I wanted to start off by thanking my parents and teachers, especially Dr. Shelton, who's here with us today, and also everyone else that has supported me throughout my journey so far. Most of all, I want to thank the Bloomington Rotary Club for the generosity of this award and for providing us with this beautiful luncheon today. Community service is so much more than just racking up volunteer hours or satisfying your conscience. It connects people and cultures. It cultivates love, empathy, and understanding between different communities. It forms new and unlikely bonds. And it's also a cherished way to give back and to show gratitude for what you have received and help others experience it too. I've had the privilege to be part of the Build On Club at North since my freshman year. And let me tell you, I had no clue where it was going to take me when I first started. But my junior year, I helped the club fundraise over $30,000 so we could travel to Guatemala and help build a school on a trip we call Trek. And not to sound cliche, but it changed my life. It's such a unique experience to be fully immersed in what feels like an entirely different world, but still be welcomed with such loving arms. And I'll never forget the relationships that were formed on that trip, despite language and cultural barriers, and a little side quest to the hospital. Another way I've really enjoyed giving back these last couple of years has been through my role in student council as class president. So Bloomington High School North has played a vital role in shaping me into the person I am today. And I've treasured the opportunity to serve and enhance a community that has done so much for me. Whether it was getting free menstrual products in the bathrooms, founding a peer tutoring program, hosting blood drives, creating college help sessions, planning extravagant dances, or figuring out ways to make senior year as fun as possible for my classmates, I can safely say that my fellow council members and I have done everything in our power to make the school a better place. And it is with people and communities like these that I feel good about the legacy I am leaving behind and what kind of future I'm setting up for my successors to enjoy. Part of the reason why I'm so grateful to Bloomington High School North is for the academic opportunities that it has provided me with. Last year in my anatomy class, we dissected sheep brains. I remember leaning over the sheep brain with a scalpel in my hand, and my eyes were just wide with wonder. And I was wondering, like, how could this defunct mass lying before me possibly have once covered an animal's entire being? I was overwhelmed with questions about how the brain actually works. And I'd always had a penchant for science, especially biology and psychology, and I was enthusiastic to explore beyond what my high school could offer. So when I took Intro to Psychology at Neuroscience at IU, I realized how those fields come together. Between action potentials and memory encoding, I was hooked, instantly captivated by both the interdisciplinary nature of the field and the mystery of brains. Neuroscience encompasses everything I love, from psychology, biology, medicine, philosophy, to cutting-edge research and creative problem solving. And my zeal has only grown with further study in my other neuroscience and psychology courses at IU and my internship at Neurology Specials, which is a local neurology private practice. At that internship, I met many patients with the irremediable diagnosis of Parkinson's disease. One in particular had deficits so bad he couldn't sleep or function anymore, and all we could do was continue to prescribe more and more medications. This left me tormented by the possibility that there had to be some way to help them. But the thing is, neurological discoveries are constantly being made, and things we once thought to be impossible are now mundane occurrences. So I want to be at the forefront of this revolutionary field, and I want to make a real, tangible difference. I have a lot of hopes and dreams for the future and for my future. I want to be a doctor. I want to cure neurodegenerative diseases. I want to increase access to safe and affordable healthcare in marginalized communities and developing countries. I want to make a difference. Thank you, Bloomington Rotary, for enabling these dreams and becoming part of my journey to get there. Thank you.
Good afternoon. So you just had a sample of why it was so difficult to select only 4 recipients. All of these kids are just brilliant. I was just talking to Grace's parents and I got choked up. I mean, it's just, I marvel at what these kids have done. I mean, every one of them. Grace McKay is one of them. I'm going to tell a little bit more about her than we heard from Amy about Kira, because another quality that Grace has, she's very modest. So we found out more about her from her letters of recommendation than she had in her own essay and her own bio, because that's who she is. Grace McKay, Bloomington South High School. She wants to be a pediatric specialist. She's off to University of Notre Dame to study biochemistry and Spanish. She's a National Honor Society member. In sports, I'm not making this up, soccer, all 4 years, co-captain, basketball, 3 years, track, and also a leader in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. In the community, and I'm just giving you some of the community activities, Sherwood Oaks Christian Church, group leader for many, many years, working with young people, Boys and Girls Club, the Wheeler Mission, where she and her lovely family started taking her when she was in 7th grade. So this is a long-term commitment. Medical missions in Honduras, helping to build health clinics. And by the way, she also had part-time jobs during all this time, which is something dear to my heart, as someone who had to work all through high school and college. So that was lovely. But we also, a special treat, we have Abby Gray here today. I didn't know she was going to be here. And I think one of the things that she said, her whole letter is breathtaking. I'm going to try to get through this without getting choked up. So this is a real letter from Abby Gray. Raise your hand there, Abby. All right. She didn't know I was going to do this. So this is just one paragraph of this breathtaking letter that she wrote. First, let me say that Grace is one of the most outgoing, engaged, and ambitious students that I've ever had the privilege of working with in my 27 years of experience. Rarely do you see a student who truly wants to learn, is always prepared, maintains focus on even the most challenging tasks. Her interest in improving the world around her is truly exceptional, and her zest for personal growth, remarkable. She has been a dream student since the moment she walked into my classroom. And there's more of that throughout your beautiful letter. There's more to say about Grace, and you'll hear from her shortly, but she said to make sure that you're a leader, you have to demonstrate that by your actions, and you always have to go the extra mile. But in the great Rotary spirit, one of the things she said during the interview was, giving makes me happy, and we're happy that you're one of our recipients. Grace.
Well, thank you so much for that very kind introduction. Good afternoon. Like you said, my name is Grace, and I'm a senior about to graduate from Bloomington High School South. We have 8 days left, but you know, who's counting, right? I'm here with my parents, Joel and Kim McKay, and my absolutely amazing Spanish teacher, Miss Gray. I was born and raised here in Bloomington, which has provided me the privilege of serving this community in a variety of ways. Through Bloomington South, I was able to be on the leadership team for Best Buddies and Dance Marathon, which allowed me to serve both my school and Riley Children's Hospital up in Indy. Outside of school, I did serve at Wheeler Mission with my family starting in 7th grade every Friday up until COVID forced us to stop, but I do hope to go back soon. Serving in this way really impacted me by showing me how great the need was in our community, and it inspired me to continue serving in other ways throughout high school. I've also been an active volunteer in Sherwood Oaks Christian Church for the last 7 years. I decided to become a small group leader for a very rambunctious group of first grade girls who are now graduating 7th grade. And I now think I have a fraction of what my mom says when she says I grow up too fast. But serving in that way has shown me a love for kids and for mentoring. I believe that mentorship is a powerful and personal way to serve others, and I plan to continue doing so throughout college. However, I think the most important and impactful service activity I've been a part of was this past spring break when I joined a group from Sherwood Oaks to a mission trip in Honduras. While this is a rather unconventional choice of spring break destination, it was for sure one of the most impactful experiences I've ever had. It allowed me to redefine the way that I view wealth and poverty, and it served as an incredible reminder not to take what I have for granted. It also inspired a new goal of mine for the future, which is to go on medical mission trips both during and after medical school. This fall, I will be attending the University of Notre Dame as a biochemistry major on the pre-med track. Being a pediatrician has always been the ultimate long-term goal for me, and high school has only helped solidify my belief that being a doctor is what I would like to do. I had success and greatly enjoyed my AP biology and anatomy courses at South, which only confirmed that I would like to go into the science and medical field. I wanted to be a doctor for as long as I can remember, and I'm excited for the ways that Notre Dame will help me prepare for this dream. But being in Honduras this past spring did cause me to reflect slightly on this projected job plan. I still would love to become a pediatrician and be able to help people in that way, but I also want to serve on medical mission trips. I visited multiple clinics while on my trip to Honduras and was struck by the level of need for medical personnel there, as well as in many other third world countries. After graduating from undergrad and medical school, I plan to spend some time on these mission trips as my way of using the gifts that I have to serve others. But these dreams could never be fulfilled alone, so I want to thank the Bloomington Rotary Club for your generous support and helping these goals and aspirations become possible. The mission of the Rotary Club is one that I admire greatly and hope to live out in the ways that I live and serve others. So I greatly appreciate your support, and I thank all of you for coming today. Thank you.
Jeff did that for me. But I am very glad to introduce today here Hazel Stringer, who is about to graduate from Bloomington South. Again, 2 people from Bloomington South. And she plans to attend Middlebury College in Vermont. Right? Anyway, and she wants to major in history, but her ultimate goal would be to be involved in the law, which in the best way, I assume. Anyway, I have 2 children who are lawyers, and they're very nice people, I have to say. And if by all reports that we got, Hazel is an extraordinary person. She's a wonderful scholar in school and a great citizen and a leader in her class. One of the things that impressed me this year, because I've been on this committee for several times, is that we've always asked people what do they think are the big issues facing the world. And in the past years, it's been the ecology and climate change. This year, it had to do with communication and people getting along in the world. And boy, I think that's right. She's the daughter of a mother who is French and a father who is British. So she comes to us as the United Nations herself. I'm very proud to introduce Hazel Stringer from Bloomington South, and with a future in the law and in the world in general. Thank you.
So, wow. I mean, you just heard my best friend Grace McKay speak, and wow. I'm surrounded by amazing people. I mean, I don't think I could have been where I was without the people I was surrounded with. I mean, Grace McKay, who's literally always on the move, always doing something. My mom, who's literally the hardest worker I have ever met. I mean, vacations are not vacations. um, Mr. Breeze, who has helped 3 of my siblings and another one on the way, by the way. I don't know if I've told you that yet. So yeah, it's the amazing people I feel like that have got me here. So as you heard, my name is Hazel Stringer, and I'm graduating for from Bloomington South in a few weeks, 8 days to be exact. It's a real honor to receive this award from the Rotary Club, because I mean, this is one of the most important service organizations in the world. And since I first started high school, service has always been really important to me. I've been involved in several clubs such as Dance Marathon and National Honor Society. However, the activities that have been the most meaningful to me have been the Community Outreach Association, which I co-founded, and Habitat for Humanity. In August 2021, I started COA, Community Outreach Association, to create multiple volunteering possibilities for the students at Bloomington High School South during the pandemic, because so many community service opportunities for high school students had disappeared. I organized a leadership committee with 6 students, and we found a teacher sponsor, the amazing Mr. Hoagland. You might know his wife, Mrs. Hoagland. We then found community organizations in need of help and relayed the opportunities to students, partnering with various local nonprofits. Since that time, we've organized volunteering at the Food Bank Book Fair, the Wheeler Mission Pumpkin Dash to raise money in support of the homeless, the Camp Atterbury Drive to help Afghan refugees in Indiana, Pantry 279, and fundraising through the local grocery store for the Salvation Army. Habitat for Humanity, for those who don't know, is an international nonprofit that helps low-income people build their own home. Over the last 2 years, I've been the events coordinator on the leadership team, and I've taken part in about, after 2 weeks ago, I think 5 builds. Each time working alongside a family that would soon live in the house. These experiences have really made me understand that any contribution, no matter how small, to a team effort like this can be part of making dramatic changes in our community. Cheesy but true. This August, I'll be going to Middlebury College in Vermont. In addition to wearing as many layers as possible, I plan to study history, mostly because it repeats itself in different configurations and can help us understand the present. Maybe one reason I want to understand more about our multicultural society is because I also want to understand my own multicultural self. As Charlotte said, I was born in Japan to English and French parents and raised in America. When I was 15 years old, I had the chance to go back to Japan, and I hoped to see for myself the many things that my parents had told me about. And we would always gather around the TV and watch the footage from my dad's old video camera. I don't know if you guys still remember those, but and don't get me wrong, the experience was amazing and the food even better. But in the end, it left me with even more questions. I began to think that the answer to where I come from might also be tied to understanding the nature of change at a larger scale. In my senior year internship project on women in globalizing 19th century America with Professor Constantine Dierks at Indiana University, I was able to discover multiple little-known stories of intercultural contact in the United States over the last 2 centuries that shed light on the nature of our diversity today. Globalization was underway long before airplanes or the internet. Just like individuals, cultures are dynamic. If we want to understand who we are now as a society, we need to go beyond original founding father narratives, as the United States is no longer the country it was. During my undergraduate education, I hope to learn more about how history and politics shape us all, and how a more insightful sense of our own identity can help create a more empathetic and respectful society. I'm really grateful for your support and this generous scholarship, which will really help me as I continue my education in college. And hopefully I can become one of the good lawyers and help, and help people in my community in the future. Thank you.
I have the honor of introducing Clara Crane from Edgewood High School, and I will tell you the hardest thing I will do this month is to try to tell you why Clara, will tell her qualifications for this scholarship in 2 minutes or less. So, but she already lives service above self. 8 school-related extracurricular clubs. I'm not going to list them all or her positions in all of them, but there were 2 common themes that came up over and over again: service and leadership. 4-year varsity letter winner in both the cross country and track team. So that's daily practices with 30 to 40 miles per week of running. In both cases, it wasn't just that, it was creating an environment on the cross country team that helped lead to more than doubling the number of girls on the team. It was leading the track team through stretching and weightlifting and workouts and cool downs. And when she was injured and couldn't run her junior year, it was coaching the distance runners on the junior high school track team. And so if those school extracurriculars and athletics weren't enough, you also have 10 years of involvement with 4-H. I counted participation in 38 different examples of community service projects, state awards for fashion design 3 times, national awards for team problem solving, horse judging, and 2 4-H scholarships, and all of this with a 4.2 GPA. One of her recommendation letters I want to quote from. She also cares greatly about her community and reminds other officers regularly to think of activities that we can do as a club that contribute to our community. The maturity level she displays is decades beyond her actual age, especially in her ability to self-initiate, manage her time, coordinate teams, and lead respectfully without being self-important. If I were looking to place a bet on someone with the potential to not only succeed in college, but that has the potential to change the world in a significant way in the future, my money would easily be placed on Clara. She'll attend Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee this fall, where she'll be enrolled in a 3+3 Doctor of Physical Therapy program and will run track and cross country. Clara?
Hello, like you said, my name is Clara Crane and I'm a senior at Edgewood High School. Thank you for having me here today and awarding me this scholarship. Like he mentioned before, I'm a 10-year member of Monroe County 4-H, as well as a member of both Key Club and National Honor Society. These are the 3 main organizations where I spend a majority of my time volunteering. As a part of 4-H, I'm in 5 clubs, including Harry Hopper's Rabbit Club, Swine Club, Horse and Pony Club, Junior Leaders, and Country Sunshine Club. So all of those clubs I complete community service in, but a majority of the community service is in Junior Leaders. And instead of working closely with one large group, I complete many smaller community service activities throughout the year. So these smaller activities all add up and impact the community around us the same way that one large community service activity can. But I'm able to reach more people by volunteering at various places. And a main one that stands out is supporting Pantry 279. They support people directly in Ellettsville and surrounding communities. So it directly impacts Ellettsville, where I live. I've also supported them in various ways, ranging from collecting over 500 boxes of cornbread for their Thanksgiving boxes to packaging 40 birthday cake kits to hand out to families in need. I've also donated supplies and created individual craft kits for kids to take home after visiting Pantry 279. And I also simply just volunteer my time there when they need it during the holidays. So trying to make something fun for the kids whenever they come pick up food that they need as well. Many other small but impactful community service activities I've completed throughout the years include making fleece tie blankets for Area 10 Agency for Aging, pulling weeds and watering gardens at Will Dittmer Park, packing over 800 seed kits for local elementary schools with Hilltop Gardens, and creating toiletry kits for a local homeless shelter.
I recently visited the Rachel and Bean Blossom Nursing Home with the 4-H Rabbit Club. I brought one of my own rabbits to I brought one of my own rabbits in for the residents to pet and see, and I enjoyed answering their questions about rabbits and hearing stories of their involvement with rabbits when they were younger. This was one of my most memorable experiences in all 10 years of 4-H. And it was a very simple activity for me. I just had to bring my rabbit and talk to people, but it made a big impact on them, and they asked for us to come back this summer. So we'll be back multiple times this year. In addition to service activities, I also focus on academics. I'm a member of both German Honor Society and National Honor Society, and I carry a 4.2 GPA. This fall, I plan to attend Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee, where I will major in exercise science. I am enrolled in the 3+3 Doctor of Physical Therapy program, which means that the undergraduate degree will take 3 years, and then I'll have 3 years of grad school. As a part of this program, I will be automatically admitted into the DPT program as long as I meet the requirements. I will also run on both the cross country and track teams at Belmont. Thank you again for this opportunity, and I'm excited for this next chapter of my life, and thank you for your support with this scholarship.
Thank you so much. What an inspiring group. And has it dawned on you that these are 4 women rather than a male amongst them, which is amazing. I just realized that about 3 seconds ago when I just realized what was happening. So anyway, congratulations to you all. Here's the plan. You're not going to get your check until we've taken pictures. That's a nice way, motivation. But I thought that rather than doing a bunch of things at this point, we have time for questions. And I know that all of you are very excited about asking the 4 recipients. So I invite all 4 of you to come up to the podium once again, and let's see which questions come up and which of you would like to answer those questions. And I invite people online, likewise, to open up your cameras and let us know if you have any questions. So we'll do that. Who wants to go first? Here, do you have a question?
I just felt like it was particularly cool.
How did the pandemic affect your high school experience?
So Grace and I will answer this one. I mean, I think the biggest thing that impacted me was just the isolation. I was lucky enough to have 4 siblings in the house with me, so I didn't feel too isolated being like locked in a room with my sister. But I think just missing my friends and being, especially just like being in classes with no faces. I mean, Miss Gray knows. Spanish was hard, like to communicate, and like, I mean, I don't know how the teachers did it, being in a classroom all alone looking at blank screens, like, but I think just the biggest part was just the isolation.
I would say it also taught us how to be resourceful, because we all kind of got thrown into it super quickly. And so there wasn't a whole lot of preparation. We didn't know how to work online classes. We hadn't had to learn how to find online videos to teach you how to do your homework, because, you know, I mean, there was not a lot of instruction because it just all happened so fast. So I will say the isolation was definitely a really difficult part, but I think it also helped a lot of us learn how to be resourceful, use each other in different ways. And I think that was the silver lining that came from it.
Yeah, and actually Grace and I organized a little mini classroom in one of our friends' garages. So we would be like far apart in the same classes with our videos going, but just in different corners of the garage. So
we decorated it. It looked nice.
their school, and I did early decision there to really lock that in. Because although I knew I was going to be well off anywhere, I knew that that was also probably the best program for me to learn the most about what I'm most fascinated by.
So I'll be attending the University of Notre Dame this fall. And I first visited Notre Dame back in 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, middle school. And I immediately absolutely loved the campus. I mean, of course, it's beautiful here too, but I loved seeing the campus. It was beautiful. And then when I visited again my junior year, I learned more about the mission of Notre Dame, and their biggest focus is not just creating people that are smart and have good academics, but creating good people in the world. Their mission is to be a force of good in the world. That's their goal for the students. And so when I heard that, I was immediately struck by just like the way that they run the school, and their goals and their morals are different than a lot of other schools. And so that struck me, and that was really important to me. And the major I'm going into, which is biochemistry, is a really, really great program there. And they have great counseling with helping to get into medical school. And so that appealed to me as well. So that was my main factors in choosing.
So, I mean, college is expensive. Financially, it was a big factor. However, I looked to the Northeast because of financial aid. My sisters both went to Maine, and I didn't want to follow in their footsteps, so I went to Vermont. And I don't know if you guys know Middlebury at all, but it is, I think I didn't get to go on the whole college road trip experience, but I saw videos, I talked to people, alumni, I talked to students that were there, and it's just the most beautiful campus ever. And it has an amazing language program. I really want to benefit from the Spanish classes they have there. And I looked into their history courses, and South, as amazing as it is, doesn't have a ton of history courses. So I'm so excited to just explore some new areas of history there. Yeah.
And then I chose Belmont. I started, they have a really good physical therapy program that's 6 years and the direct admit. So that was already not very common. And so I started looking for schools like that. And then since I'm running there, I also had to find a running program that would match with what I like and need. And so they have a very small team that's like very close to each other, and they go do community service projects together, and they try to make an impact in their community. And so I was really drawn to Belmont's team just because of how connected the team was and how nice the school and academics was.
Thank you. Let's all rise in appreciation of our 4 winners. They're incredible. Huge congratulations to all. And while you're standing, I'll make a quick announcement, and then we'll do the 4-way test. Next week, we'll be at the Georgian Room once again here, and we'll welcome Kyle Adams, who's a faculty member in the Jacobs School of Music, a colleague of mine. He's fabulous. I know him very well, and he's going to be talking about rap music on trial, which is the very interesting discussion about how rap music is maligned and misrepresented in many of the trials around the country. And he's going to give us an idea of the origins and substance and value of rap music in our society. So that should be very interesting. With that, let's share the 4-way +1 test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, is it fun? Thank you all. Thank you so much. Yeah. And let's do the photographs. Let's have everybody come here. I'd like to